So I wanted to have a look at some of the products we've got here today. I thought we'd go and have a look at some of the recovery equipment. When you go four-wheel driving, you should always take recovery equipment with you. I'd probably say it's a foolish man that goes out four-wheel driving and hasn't got anything to recover them with. The reason is, guys, you head out there, you don't know where you're going sometimes. Even if you do know where you're going, the track could be full of water, makes it difficult to get out if you ever do get stuck, and especially if you're going off by yourself, you've got no way to get yourself out except you've got to go and get help. Whereas if you bring some basic recovery equipment, you can help yourself out and get yourself out of those sticky situations you might find yourself in. And I mean, you know, best of all, if you go out and you enjoy your whole trip and you come back and you didn't need it, well, hey, nothing lost there, is there? So my recommendation is to always bring some recovery equipment with you. I store it in the back of my ute and keep it there, and in our Challenger we keep it some recovery equipment there as well, just in case. You never know. There's been a couple of trips we've gone on and we've used that recovery equipment, and that's helped us out a great deal. So I thought I'd show you just some of the basic recovery equipment that we have. Now this stuff here is all new. It's for our Ford Ranger. We've got the same equipment we have in the Challenger. So I thought, hey, grab it out while it's all nice and shiny and we'll show you. Now the ARB Recovery equipment, they've actually got a couple of different kits, ARB. This is the top of the range kit that they've got there. It's got pretty much everything that you possibly would need in a recovery situation. And they come in this really nice bag, so it's like this canvas bag, and it allows you to store your stuff inside here. It's got some nice little pockets on the side there as well where you can store your stuff, and then it all just locks away once you're done with it as well. Now some of the items that they come with, inside one of the boxes here, you'll find they've got this vehicle recovery brochure, and it's a brief guide on the basics of vehicle recovery. So if you've never done any vehicle recovery before, it's a good place to start. Have a read through the guide there. It gives you some basic instructions. My purpose today is not really to provide you a guide on how to recover a vehicle. That could be a whole series just by itself. It's more really today just to show you some of the stuff that you can use in a vehicle recovery, and I'll give you some pointers along the way. So some of the things you get here, this guy here, your tree trunk protector. So what this is designed to do, guys, is it's designed to go around a tree or something like that to snatch off, so you don't damage the tree. If you think about it, you know, if you put one of these winch ropes around a tree and it grabs hold of it, it can really take all the bark off the tree and kill the trees. So use something like this, and what this does is you undo the whole lot, and you'll find up in here, once we've undone it, you'll have these two guys here. Now you could either use this, say for example, on the front of a vehicle, so you can attach one each on each side to the front of your vehicle and then pull from the middle in down here. Or maybe you wanted to go around a tree, so you'll hook this around the tree and you'll put these together, and then you'll put your snatch block inside here and you'll pull off that way instead. So that's the other idea, guys. So you can do either option. That's up to you which way you prefer to go. And then we've also got our actual recovery ropes that we use here, or straps I suppose you call them. So this one here, so this one's your snatch strap. So your orange one is your snatch strap, and this is the one that's got the like elastic band in it, I suppose you call. So when you use this one, it stretches out a little bit, and then it comes back in as that energy gets pulled back in towards it. Now this one here says it's got a minimum braking strength of 8,000 kilograms. So you've got to consider what it is you're trying to pull as well. Hey, you might be trying to pull your vehicle and a trailer as well, so you've got to consider what the weight of those things is and whether this is going to be sufficient for you as well. Sometimes you may also find that you're a fair way off from where you've actually got to pull from, and that's what this guy here is designed for. This is called your extension strap. So your extension straps don't have the same elastic band effect in them. That's essentially, it's only in your snatch strap you've got the elastic effect in them. But this one here is rated at 4,500 kilos, so a lot less, guys. You know, so if you're using this, you really got to consider, you know, what weight you're trying to pull. So yeah, so that one's your extension strap, and you always want to make sure you get a rated snatch block. So if you ever go down to your Bunnings store or something like that and you buy something like this and you think that's suitable, it might just be a straight U shape, you've got to double check it, because generally you tend to find these ones that have this little loop up the top tend to be the ones that are rated. But always make sure it'll have a little rating here on the side, it'll have a little rating in there, and you'll be able to know whether that block is sufficient for what you're doing. And these guys here just come apart like so, and then you'll feed that through, and then just do that up again. So the ARB kit comes with two of these blocks for you as well, and then you've got your snatch block itself. Now this guy here is essentially designed, say for example you wanted to pull your vehicle, but you might be going up a really steep hill, and you're going to put a lot of strain on your winch. So what you could do is you could take the cable from the vehicle all the way through this and then go back to the vehicle, and this, for example, will then be attached to a tree. And what that actually serves to do is it doubles your pulling power. So instead of it, you know, you might have a pulling power, I don't know, of a certain amount of weight, it doubles that weight for you, so you can pull more. But same thing, you've got to consider what's the amount of the braking strain on these things. And the other thing you've got to be aware of is it'll take twice as long to pull it as well. So these things are rated at, was it 9,000 kilograms roughly? So yeah, so look, that's another good idea. You need to be aware it'll take longer, but it'll pull you out easier. It doesn't put as much strain on the winch either. It's a lot easier on the winch. You should always have some gloves. It might sound like a silly thing, but I remember the very first time we ever got stuck was in our little Kia Sportage. I mean, this is before we knew anything about four-wheel driving, guys. I'm not claiming to be an expert, but I can tell you what I've had from our experience. When we had our little Kia Sportage, we went out on the beach one day, and we got bogged pretty much straight away. And so I got under the car and was digging out the sand. The sand was really hot, and it just, I don't know how it did, just cut my hand wide open. And you know, if I had the gloves and all that there, I could have got ourselves out a lot easier. So yeah, now this one here, this is probably one of the most important pieces of equipment that you can use. These guys are designed essentially to go over your rope or your strap. They're called a winch dampener. Now it's important that you have at least one of these on your setup, and when you are winching, you make sure you have everybody well away from the area where that rope, if that rope snapped, these things are like an elastic band on them. If you can imagine an elastic band coming at you with one of these things, people die. Just recently there was a gentleman that passed away, unfortunately, because, you know, we have an incident like this that arose. So what I would normally recommend is that if you're pulling, say for example, from your vehicle to a tree, you could put this up near the tree end, for example. My own opinion, this is my opinion, I don't see that there's much benefit really putting it right beside your vehicle, because the weight of that winch, if it comes flying, it's still going to go through your window. Put this up near the actual weight where you're actually snatching from. If you're towing another vehicle, you're going to need a couple of these guys. You're going to need to put some around either side of it. So if it snaps and goes towards the vehicle that's being pulled, or the one pulling, you know, you've got them either end. So I can't recommend those highly enough. It's a real good thing to have. Now, one thing about these guys, obviously we just spoke a little bit about safety with them, and you know, if something does happen and this comes flying at you, it'll go straight through your window and won't stop. So what do? There is another thing which you can use. These guys, these are called a soft shackle. I'll get it right eventually. And essentially they're just your rope that you use like on your actual winch, your Dyneema rope, and they pull apart like so. These have got a pulling power of around about 8 tons roughly, but the beauty about this is if it does come flying, it's not going to have the same type of effect. They're a lot lighter, And the way that they actually work is you'll open this side up in here, like so, feed your rope through, then pull that back down, and you obviously attach that one end maybe to your vehicle and the other end to the rope, or maybe to 2 ropes together, or maybe you use it for the tree trunk protector, and you go around this, and then the other end would actually attach into the actual rope that's pulling you, winching you out of the situation you're in. So yeah, so I can't recommend those highly enough. I mean, I think they're a great idea, and that in conjunction with a winch dampener will make the process of winching a lot safer. So look, I got a couple of those guys, because you know, you may find you might have one maybe at your vehicle, you know, going out further as an extension strap, or you may have one around a tree. So we got 3 of them just in case, guys, in our situation. So the other thing I did want to have a quick yap to you about, I think part of it just fell down here, is we're talking about protection here at the moment, and so this is obviously protection against, you know, if you go camping and you're getting stuck if you're out on the tracks. This is protection for your vehicle long term, something like Inox. So what Inox is, I think it's made out of sheep wool if I remember correctly, and you spray it underneath your vehicle, all those different spots that might rust. So this is great if you're ever going out and you're going to be going in through lots of water, or especially salty water. If you're going through salty water and you haven't got some of this on your vehicle, you're nuts. You need to have some of this on your vehicle. You spray it all underneath your vehicle, spray it all throughout it, and it's designed essentially to put like a wax or a coating around all your stuff, and protect it against rust. So can't recommend that enough. You'll hear a lot of people talk about the Inox stuff, and there's other brands of stuff on the market as well that you can get, and yeah, so good stuff to get, guys. So look, that's my basic recovery kit. Have a read through the instructions, go have a look on YouTube for some videos. Lots of different videos out there talk about recovery techniques. One thing I could highly recommend is to join a 4-wheel drive club that actually does this type of training. So I'm part of the Mitsubishi 4-wheel drive club, and what they actually do, they actually have a training session with everybody. So they do a theory, and then they have a practical, and it's the practical session where you actually go out and you actually use this stuff, and you actually see how it actually works, so that in that situation we actually need it, you already know how to actually use that equipment. Okay, guys, so look, I hope this has been of use to you. Just a short little episode today, and yeah, so I hope to see you out there on the tracks. I know we've got the drifter event coming up soon, guys, so I'm really looking forward to that, meeting up with the guys, meeting up with all the guys down there at Cobar, I believe it is, down in New South Wales. So the other thing I wanted to mention to you guys was about the Queensland drifter event that I see coming up very soon. I was quite fortunate. I was out at Bluff Creek the other day, and I was out there with Tofty, and he had some guests out there. Robert was out there with his camper trailer, and we did some video footage. You can have a look at the other videos we've got here on the website for that as well. And yeah, so we did a review of the awning that they had on their camper trailer, and the rooftop tent that they put on, and I also had a chat with Tofty as well, and he went through the hexatarp, or the pentatarp, actually the smaller version, and we had a look at that as well. But we were out at Bluff Creek, and that's actually where the next event is being held out for Drifter. And out here on their Facebook page, we've got Tofty. He's just posted something out there for us, and it says, looking at our new camping spot for our first official Queensland Drifter Fans events later this year, starting on Friday the afternoon of August the 3rd, 4th and 5th, and they'll be hosting the Queensland Drifter Fans event out at Bluff Creek Campgrounds near Kenilworth. So we're looking forward to that, guys. It's going to be really exciting. We actually ran our 4-wheel drive robbery out there, and it's a really lovely spot, huge spot, great spot for camping. It'd be great to host this event as well. So really looking forward to that. I hope you guys can all come out and say g'day to me, and we get to meet up with all you people as well. All right then, guys, until then, we'll catch you later.